When we go to pay for the tree, the master of ceremonies is busy negotiating a deal with two kids, a punk couple. The tree man stands with his hands in his change apron and says, "I gotta get $35 for that tree." The boy, a skinny kid in a leather jacket, shrugs and says he's only got $28. His girlfriend, a large person with a bowl haircut and a monstrous black overcoat festooned with buttons, is wailing, "Please, oh no, Jimmy, Jimmy, I love that tree, I want that tree." The tree itself stands aside, a noble pine about 12 feet. Unless these kids live in a gymnasium, they're buying a tree bigger than their needs. Jimmy retreats to his car, an old Plymouth big as a boat. "Police rule" is spray painted across both doors in balloon letters. He returns instantly and opens a handful of coins. "I'll give you $31, 55 cents, and my watch." To our surprise, the wily tree man takes the watch to examine it. When I see that, I give Elise $4 and tell her to give it to Kid Jimmy and say Merry Christmas. His girlfriend is still wailing, but now a minor refrain of, "Oh, Jimmy, that tree, oh, Jimmy, etc." I haven't seen a public display of emotion and longing of this magnitude in Salt Lake City, ever. I watch Elise give the boy the money, but instead of saying Merry Christmas, I hear her say instead, "Here, Jimmy, Santa says keep your watch." Jimmy pays for the tree, and his girl, and this is the truth, jumps on him, wrestles him to the ground in gratitude, and smothers him for nearly a minute. There have never been people happier about a Christmas tree. We pay quickly and head out before Jimmy or his girlfriend can think to begin thanking us. On the way home in the truck, I say to Elise, "Santa says keep your watch, eh?" "Yes, he does," she smiles. "How old are you, anyway?" 8. That's an old joke, and Drew finishes it for me. When he was your age, he was 7. We will go home, and while the two women begin decorating the tree with the artifacts of our many Christmases together, I will thread popcorn onto a long string. It is a ritual I prefer for its uniqueness. The fact that once a year I get to sit and watch the two girls I am related to move about a tree inside our home while I sit nearby and sow food. On the morning of the 24th of December, Elise comes into our bedroom already dressed for sledding. "Good news," she says. "We've got a shot at the record." Drew rises from the pillow and peeks out the blind. "It's snowing," she says. Christmas Eve, we drive back along the snowy avenues and park on 5th, as always. "I know," Elise says, hopping out of the car. "You two used to live right over there before you had me, and it was a swell place. It only cost $72.50 a month, honest." Drew looks at me and smiles. "How old are you?" I ask Elise. But she's busy towing the sled away, around the corner up toward 11th Avenue. It is still snowing, petal flakes, teeming by the street lamps, trying to carry the world away. I take Drew's hand, and we walk up the middle of H Street behind our daughter. There is no traffic, but the few cars have packed the tender snow perfectly. It could be a record. On 9th Avenue, Drew stops me in the intersection. The world still as snow, and kisses me. "I love you," she says. "What a planet," I whisper, "to allow such a thing." By the time we climb to 11th Avenue, Elise is seated on the sled, ready to go. "What are you guys waiting for, Christmas?" she says, and then laughs at her own joke. Then she becomes all business. "Listen, Dad, I figure if you stay just a little to the left of the tire tracks, we could go all the way, and no wobbling." She's referring to last year's record attempt, which was extinguished in the 8th Avenue block when we laughed ourselves into a fatal wobble and ended in a slush heap. We arrange ourselves on the sled, as we have each Christmas Eve for 8 years. As I reach my long legs around these two women, I sense their excitement. "It's going to be a record," Elise whispers into the whispering snow. "Do you think so?" Drew asks. She also feels this could be the night. "Oh yeah," Elise says. "The conditions are perfect." "What do you think?" Drew says to me. "Well, the conditions are perfect." When I say conditions, Drew leans back and kisses me. So I press. "There's still room on the sled," I say, pointing to the F inflexible flyer that is visible between Elise's legs. "There's still room for another person." "Who?" Elise asks. "Your little brother," Drew says, squeezing my knees. And that's about all that was said, sitting up there on 11th Avenue on Christmas Eve, on a sled which is as old as my marriage, with a brake that is as old as my daughter. Later tonight, I will stand in my yard and throw this year's reindeer droppings on my very own home. I love Christmas. Now the snow spirals around us softly. I put my arms around my family and lift my feet onto the steering bar. We begin to slip down H Street. We are trying for the record. The conditions, as you know by now, are perfect.
The H